Howdy folks, my name's Christian and welcome to Bullish on Farming. Today just going to do a quick review of this hayfield that we grazed. Posted a video yesterday of how we fenced up this hayfield. It's about a 3-acre hayfield in about 4 hours. And I just used tensile for the perimeter, kiwi posts, T-posts for the corners. Brace those corners in some areas that will be dealing with more stress. And then all the normal tools that you'll be using to fasten up fences with wire tensioners and pretty basic stuff. But I wanted to make videos on it because a lot of people are very hesitant on putting their cattle on the hay fields. And this has been about 24 hours, okay? So we came in and we were having about a foot of feed in here. And everything now is looking around 4 to 5, 6 inches, okay? Now today's September 26th, and we just got about half an inch of rain overnight. Now, I feel the ground, it's still kind of thirsty. The ground's firm, although we've been getting rain. We're really not into mud season as yet, it's still early. So, but having said that, this is a hay field. And not a large one at that. So another half day in here, you'd be surprised what the cattle could do. So I'm gonna move them out of here. We're not gonna gamble with our hay fields. They got plenty of high quality feed. And we'll let this field just grow out and express itself for the remainder of the season. And we are laying up to another hay field way down that laneway. And the plan is to move the cows there now. So come along and join us. Cows look pretty content. Let's see if they want to move for us. Woo! Come on, mamas. Let's go. Yeah! Come on, cow. Woo! Now, I'm really happy with this, folks. Okay? I said before I thought we were going to get 2 days of feed out of this. Looks like it's only 1. Now, was it worth it to fence up this field? You could debate just for 1 day of feed. But these cows ate really good for 1 day. And now this fencing I've put up, I call it sub-permanent. It's gonna stay through the winter. This fence can stay up as long as we keep it up. So, woo, let's go. We got a nice fertilization program on that hay field. Usually you'd have to spread manure out with the manure spreader, get the tractor and burn diesel. We're gonna use the cattle for that and feed them at the same time. Integrate our fertilization program with our grazing program. Let's go. That's it, girls. Let's go. Come on, yeah. So in this laneway here, we have lots of good feed. And, well, it's kind of just a segue to their next paddock. And for those of you who saw a previous video I did, it was the first video that we ever incorporated a hayfield. I took them down this laneway. There's probably, half a day's worth of feed in here if the cattle just stayed in this lane. What I usually like to do is let them just move slow, heads down, grazing on their way. And then after they've grazed this paddock that they'll be in, and there's a wire that splits this field, gives them a 2-day paddock. And then they got another 2 days on the other side and more to go before this field's done. It's past the tree line that you see there. I'll just open up the gate that I'm going to send them through now when they are almost done this paddock, and they'll come and clean up this laneway. And that's how we make sure that we're touching all the areas of the farm that we can with our cattle, feeding them while, distributing cattle droppings and using nature's design to fertilize our farm and work with our land. Okay, we don't force our animals to do anything. We manage our animals for optimal results with the design that's already in place by nature. Okay, by moving these cattle and manage their movements across the landscape, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just managing nature's design, and with the intelligence of a human being, we're able to manage things so that we can reach optimal results with almost a hands-off method. Okay, a lot of it's front work, and then once your system's in place, you just manage your animals through it. okay? Regenerative agriculture is beautiful when you are focusing on management-intensive livestock techniques, because you virtually don't need any machines. Sure, a tractor helps when you're dealing with cattle in the winter and hay and having to haul stuff, and well, that just comes with ranching. But when you're talking about land management and you're leveraging nature's processes, your costs are essentially free. Well, it's close to it. It depends on how well and sound your system is. That's it, girls. So as you can see, just moving these cattle is an absolute pleasure. I am just walking in La La Land and moving them to their paddock. We got all our fields kind of connected very well with the circuit, so that it's almost as if the cattle kind of graze their way to their next paddocks. Sure, there's some cattle drives that happen on the farm, and those are fun. But, you know, it's nice when you can just move your cattle with a nice elegant flow from one field to the next, one paddock to the next, and mitigate all risk, really. Just make it a joyride the whole way. We love our cattle drives, that's for sure. We got a big farm, so when we drive our cattle out to the calving pasture in early spring, they're going the whole width of the farm, and I don't know exactly what that is, but if I were just a ballpark off the top of my head, I mean, it's got to be at least 1,200 yards. I don't know. Anyways, that's not important. What's important is the cattle and the land and the animals. And for those of you who have seen previous videos, we do run a forest raised pig setup here. And well, let's focus on our cattle. Take a look at some of our mums going by. They're looking good. This is our bull here, not you. Right behind this girl. Can we see Bully? 2-year-old bull. And if you saw previous videos, we might be able to compare if he's gained some size, but he is looking good. He's looking mean, he's looking full, he's been eating well, and he's a grass-fed bull. Ain't bulking him up on grain. When we first got him, we were given a little bit of a high-protein bull ration, as per request of the breeder, but we run a grass-fed operation here, and so, you know, we weaned him off that eventually, and once we turned out to pasture, he's just all about God's given nutritional diet here. And that's pretty much all you need to thrive. You know, if you're running really, you know, traditionally cattle are conventional breed. They've become that. And so they have a larger frame. They've been bred that way. And so, you know, it makes sense to pair them with a grain-intensive diet to keep that high-calorie diet that allows them to really put on the pounds. Come on, let's go. We don't do that. We're a grass-fed operation here, and mob grazing offers us the best feed that we can for our animals by grazing the top halves of the plant with the most nutritional value. And that's what's putting on the 1 to 1.5 pounds a day on our cattle. And as they come through here, I'm going to try to take an eye on some of our steers. I've made a video of our calves, which are looking good. Busty calves, with barrels on them. And take a look at this guy right here. There are a couple that are younger and behind, but we're full looking with our cattle here. They're not hungry. They're not going without. Let's take a look at this steer right here. That steer is from anywhere from 14 to 16 to 17 months. Got a good gut on it. Another steer behind it. Check out this steer. Nice and full. That's a good looking steer. Here they come. Nothing like turning out cattle to fresh pasture. That's it. Good girls. So this is another hayfield, folks. We've grazed this already on our second lap of the farm. Take a look at what we're grazing. If I pull this up, that's up to my, can't really see, it's up to my elbow. And so we're at that 1.5 feet. And this is high quality feed in here. And when we graze this, folks, we graze it light. Okay, we graze it like we would, like you want to graze it delicately. So it's hard to put in words. Oh, looks like this calf is not really quite gotten with the program, has he? There's always one, isn't there? Those of you who work with cattle know that calves aren't the brightest. Let's turn it around. This one actually, oddly, it's kind of like a buckskin, much lighter. And yeah, he had to go through the fence, didn't he? Fence is a little lower here. Some of the fencing's been on this farm since before I was here, and you know, I'm tuning up things as I go along, but prioritizing it really. So that could be a bit higher, but hey, fences, you know? So like I was saying, this is 2 days worth of feed, and it is bigger than that 3-acre field that we gave him before. This is probably closer to 5 or 6. And well, probably 4.5 to 5. And then on the other side, we'll have an, you know, equivalent to that, past the tree line as well. And I got a line not too far there. The cattle are going to their waterer, and the line splits the water tub there. But you know, I came in today not expecting to move cattle. I thought that that field was going to give us that second day. And don't get me wrong, there's another day of feed there. But is that how we want to be leaving our fields, chewed right down to the soil? Absolutely not. And you know, when you're grazing your hay fields, some people will talk about keeping cattle off 8 to 10 weeks out from frost. Okay, I think that there's something there. However, we don't graze it down to the ground, and so the root system stays pretty intact if you're just grazing it down to 4 or 5 inches. And so we're not worried about that too much. We work with an integrated system that keeps the animals on the land. And so we see in every circumstance how we can accomplish that. So, getting a little lengthy here, folks. Always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by. See you on the next one.